CBS News Bay Area Afternoon Edition with Ann Makovic.
Right now in the afternoon edition, a major retail theft ring busted the target. Bay Area TJ Maxx stores. Good afternoon. I'm Ryan Yamamoto in for Ann. That theft ring was busted by the Santa Clara County Sheriff's Office with the help of other South Bay agencies. Here's a look at some of the stolen merchandise. TJ Maxx investigators alerted the Sheriff's Office back in May to a group stealing several times a day. The groups were believed to be resold at flea markets in San Jose, and detectives linked the crew to at least 80 thefts. They served search warrants last week at several South Bay locations, recovering more than $380,000 in stolen property and drugs. They arrested these 8 suspects, charging them with organized retail theft conspiracy, grand theft, and receiving stolen property. The Sheriff's Office is looking for 8 more suspects and is asking anyone with information to contact detectives. College students are starting to move back in on Bay Area campuses and at San Francisco State University. A new project is bringing affordable housing to hundreds of students. Veronica Macias talked to students at West Grove Commons.
Students are arriving here at San Francisco State University right now, unloading their belongings and getting ready for that college life. And we know that college life can be very expensive. There's a handful of members here, the move-in crew that's at the ready to get them going. So they can use any help they can get when it comes to moving in, which is really nice here at San Francisco State. There's a new complex that's offering 700 affordable units to students. It's the West Grove Commons, and it's the first of its kind that's funded through a state grant to address the limited number of housing for college students. University leaders say that it's going in the right direction for California that needs to take an effort here to preserve access to higher education. According to San Francisco State's website, student housing on average costs about $16,000 a year. A 2020 UCLA study finding that the number of students experiencing homelessness in California between K through 12 has increased more than 48% in the last decade, which is why making low-income beds available to students is so important, according to this one student.
I'm a first-gen student, so I'm the first one to set this kind of path for my family. The affordable housing makes it so nice to be able to just be able to breathe and just not worry about all the money that it is, because it really is a lot of money.
Here at San Francisco State University, this is going to be the scene throughout the day. People moving in, getting ready for their college years here. We talked to a couple of sophomores really looking forward to their college life, also telling us that living on campus really helps with their academic success.
And students are also starting to move in at UC Berkeley, starting with the first year and transfer students today and tomorrow, then returning undergrads on Sunday. Leaders in the Oakland Unified School District are expected to take the next steps today in their search for a new superintendent. The district ousted Dr. Kyla Johnson-Trammell earlier this year over reported disagreements on finances. Then the board appointed Dr. Denise Sadler as interim superintendent. Today, the district is expected to start looking for outside help to fill that position with the goal of hiring a candidate by early May of next year. Embattled San Mateo County Sheriff Christina Corpus back on the stand today to fight for her job. It is the second day of a public hearing in Redwood City to determine whether she should be removed from office. Corpus has continued to answer questions from the county's attorneys about an alleged personal relationship with her former chief of staff. She denies the two were involved romantically. In addition to allegations about her chief of staff, she has also denied the county's allegations of retaliation, obstruction of justice, and neglect of duty. Corpus's legal team has criticized the removal process. Starting tomorrow, you will no longer need a Clipper card to ride BART. Instead, you'll be able to simply tap your credit or debit or credit card to pay or use mobile methods like Apple Pay or Google Pay. This is all for adult fares. And this morning at the Embarcadero station, Mayor Daniel Lurie and transit leaders demonstrated using test credit cards.
The new system will make BART simpler to use, especially for our visitors who might not ride BART every day, but who want to come to San Francisco to go to a game, a concert, a show, or visit a museum.
Well, there's no registration or setup required for Tap and Ride. For now, the feature is limited to BART. Other services like Muni and cable cars will be changing their payment system later on. Santa Rosa drivers, heads up, the city is lowering speed limits on dozens of streets. The goal is to cut speed limits by 5 miles per hour on 29 streets from busy Santa Rosa Avenue to Fulton Road. The city council is expected to sign off on the plan today. New signs will go up and drivers get a 30-day warning window. The move supports the Vision Zero goal of eliminating serious traffic injuries and deaths by 2030. Okay, first alert weather right now. We're seeing a mild stretch of temperatures before things heat up. Meteorologist Jessica Birch joining us now. And Jess, it is just absolutely beautiful outside right now.
It is beautiful, and it's wild to think that some of our microclimates are actually sitting below average today before this huge abrupt warm-up that's going to come later this week. Let's take Redwood City, for example. That's the only microclimate on the map right now that's actually sitting above average, and it's by only 2 degrees, sitting at 78 today. The rest of us off in our inland spots, enjoy this while we have it. We're sitting in the upper 80s all the way off into Antioch, a mixed bag of 70s and 80s anywhere from wine country down into the Santa Clara Valley. And throughout the next couple of days, we're going to see a very big warm up as high pressure starts ridging its way in. Here's what's going to happen for us. We're going to see relative humidity drop, temperatures are going to rise, and places like our inland spots that are currently sitting in the 80s and 70s, we could see some triple digits around the corner. So let's actually take a look at that real fast. I want to show you the next 7 days and just how fast this change is expected. As this area of high pressure rolls in, we start to see sunnier skies. Temperatures jump to the 90s as early as tomorrow, triple digits by Thursday. Good news is it's not going to last for too much longer. You head back into this weekend's forecast. Clouds start rolling back in from offshore. We start to see that sea breeze really impacting many of us here locally. And we're back down to average temperatures heading into early next week, just in time for more school and more work. I'll have more on that, though, coming up in just a bit.
All right, thanks, Jess. Now to our other headlines. One day after his Oval Office meeting with Ukraine's President Zelensky, President Trump says the next step is a face-to-face meeting between Zelensky and Russian President Putin. There are questions about whether that meeting could ever happen, given security concerns over Zelensky, who has been the target of Russian assassination attempts. European leaders emphasized the urgent need for regional stability and pushed the president to advocate for a ceasefire. But while talks progress, Trump made no promises regarding a ceasefire, and questions remain about how Ukraine and Russia might resolve territorial disputes. Meanwhile, the U.S. Justice Department says it will turn over Jeffrey Epstein records to Congress this week. House Oversight Committee Chair James Comer says his panel should start receiving documents on Friday. This comes after the committee subpoenaed the DOJ and set today as a deadline for the records. Lawmakers also demanded testimony from 10 witnesses. Former Attorney General Bill Barr already appeared, telling the committee Epstein died by suicide, and investigators found no evidence of foul play. Air Canada and the union representing its flight attendants have come to a tentative agreement. This ends a days-long strike that canceled thousands of flights and stranded passengers. Flight attendants were demanding higher wages and to be paid when planes are grounded. No word yet on the details of the agreement. Union members still need to vote to approve that deal. And forecasters are warning millions along the East Coast about Hurricane Erin. The storm will not make a direct hit, but is expected to bring huge waves and dangerous rip currents. Parts of North Carolina have already banned swimming on beaches, and evacuations are now underway on the Outer Banks. Still ahead at noon and streaming on CBS News Bay Area. As this Transgender History Month, meet a Bay Area musician who works to empower artists of all kinds. Imports and exports increased at the port of Oakland for the month of July. This as businesses try to get their hands on products before tariff rates went up at the beginning of this month. That caused many importers to front-load their orders. Loaded imports increased by 31% from June, making it the highest monthly imports for 2025. Exports also increased by about 10%. The Port of Oakland expects that traffic should be moderate in the coming months. Well, as we mark Transgender History Month, we spotlight a Bay Area creative who's helping queer and trans musicians thrive. KB Voice is not only making music, he's making change. Bay Area artist and punk music pioneer spent decades lifting up voices like that of La Femme Bear, the first black trans woman to produce a Billboard Top 10 record. Lorena Ayub takes a closer look at KB's journey.
For KB Boyce, music is a lifeline. The black trans musician, originally from New York, says punk music gave him a space to feel accepted, especially while navigating his own identity.
Music is medicine for me, and I feel like it's also that is a shared thing throughout the world. It can make you feel better. It can bring your spirits up. It can bring you to tears. And sometimes that's what we need, is to cry, a good cry. But music, to me, is magic.
A teenage punk trailblazer fronting the late 70s, early 80s band Nasty Facts, KB has always had a heart for empowering artists. But when he moved to the Bay Area and saw that queer and trans artists were struggling to get paid for their work, he knew he wanted to do something about it.
I am very much invested in creating spaces for queer and trans musicians, artists of all kinds, actually. I really want to create a space where we can be seen and heard and respected and preferably paid for the art that we create.
And that's what inspired KB to create Queer Rebel Productions, offering a platform not just for expression, but connection and protection.
We all need to be respected and paid for the work that we put into our art. And we put a lot of heart and sweat and tears and into it.
As KB reflects on his journey from east to west, he says he's grateful for the sense of community the Bay Area has offered him.
I felt really at home here ever since. And it's been over 30 years that I've been out here now, and I love it.
The kind of love that keeps him creating one melody at a time.
All right, we talked about this earlier. I want to dive back into this beautiful forecast we have this afternoon, and I hope you take advantage of it today. Reason why I say that, we have a very big warm up around the corner. It'll be pretty abrupt for some of our inland communities. Today, for example, sitting in the low 80s over into Concord, right around the corner, we're going to be hitting the upper 90s, triple digits within the next few days alone. Thursday is expected to be a moderate heat risk day for many of our inland communities. But one thing I want to also pay attention to has to do with the winds. I mean, right now we're seeing light winds in the morning hours, developing more into the afternoon. That'll keep our coastal communities a little bit cooler and cloudier, pushing in from offshore. But the rest of us, especially in our inland areas, due to this area of high pressure pushing in from the four corners, it's going to drop our relative humidity a lot, and it's going to bring those temperatures up significantly, anywhere from Concord all throughout Solano County, Contra Costa County, down into the Santa Clara Valley. I picked Thursday, though, for a reason. Take a look at what's happening for us as we head into the next couple days. We are gearing up for some hotter weather right around the corner in those inland spots. Triple digits as early as Thursday, upper 90s as we kick off this weekend. Even though we're going to see cloudy skies, it's still above average for this time of year. And then we slowly but surely get back down into the 80s, right around average as we head into early next week. Now, that's our inland forecast. Of course, I'm showing you the extreme, but we're going to notice this heat wave everywhere throughout the Bay Area, regardless if you live along the coast, the Bay, all the way over into the East Bay, or down into the Santa Clara Valley for that matter. Along the Bay, closer to Oakland and San Francisco, you see that live look behind me. Those blue skies are going to stick around for the next couple days, jumping into the upper 70s by tomorrow, low 80s into Thursday as clouds start to roll in from offshore. And then we start to catch that much needed break as we head into this weekend, back into the low 70s. This is a very normal summer-like pattern for us, at least as we head into next week. It's just that heat wave we have to get through first. We'll keep you updated on it here in the Weather Center, especially when it comes to that heat risk map as we head into our Thursday forecast. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Jess. We're taking a live look at Chase Center, otherwise known as Valhalla, at least for tonight. The Valkyries will host the first of two games against the Phoenix Mercury, and it's sneakerhead night, so fans are encouraged to wear their best kicks to the game. You can watch the Valkyries take on the Mercury tonight on Pix Plus 44 Cable 12. Pre-game coverage starts at 6:30. Well, people go to great lengths to get their hands on those Labubus, but now there's a government warning about the lookalikes. We're going to have the details next. Well, the Labubus are the latest craze in plush toys, but there's a new danger from imposter replicas. U.S. officials have identified multiple shipments of Labubu lookalikes from China known as, well, Lafufus. The Consumer Product Safety Commission says the fakes can break apart easily and are small enough for a child to fit in their mouth and potentially choke on.
There are a few things you can check for. Real Labubus, they feature a holographic sticker with a scannable QR code that links to the Pop Mart website. Also count the teeth. Authentic ones have 9. This guy has 10.
Okay.
And make sure you only purchase from trusted stores, right? If it's too good to be true, the price is too good, it's not right.
Yeah, check for the teeth. You're looking at the real thing here. The fakes are sold as both plush figures and plush keychains. Coming up, thousands of new words just added to the new dictionary. Would you know them, though? We're going to break down a few slang terms you might be hearing more often. Well, social media isn't just changing the way we connect, it's transforming our language too. Cambridge Dictionary just added 6,000 new words. Words like delulu, that's slang for delusional, now officially in the dictionary. Other newbies include skibbity, a viral internet term that can mean cool or bad or can be just used as a joke. And mouse jiggler, you might recognize that if you've been working from home. It's a gadget that keeps your computer awake when you are not at your desk.
Really, a dictionary is a record of public usage. So it's recording how people are using language at a given time. So I imagine that if Cambridge has entered these words into the dictionary today, most dictionaries will now follow suit.
Environmental concerns inspired another new entry, forever chemical. That's a harmful substance that stays in the environment for a very long time. Cambridge Dictionary only adds words it thinks have staying power, so if it's in there, it's probably not going anywhere. That's it for the afternoon edition. Remember, we're streaming 24/7 on the free CBS News app. Our next newscast is at 5 o'clock. Have a great afternoon.